sold-out crowd here, 8,400 plus at the Civic Auditorium, all anticipating opening night. Old University of Nebraska hockey program has now officially begun. And the Mavericks have won it!
It's been 48 days since the Omaha Mavericks last hit the ice at Baxter Arena as we get set for a long-awaited matchup between Omaha and Minnesota Duluth. Welcome into the Maverick Digital Network studios. I'm Ana Bellinghausen along with Alexa Blase, here with you until puck drop. It's alumni weekend here for the Mavericks as more than 50 former members are in town for the series against the number 7 ranked Bulldogs.
That's right, Anna. Minnesota Duluth is coming in after a win and a tie against the Miami Redhawks at home. But this Bulldog team is on a skid as of late, losing 6 of their last 8 games. With that said, they've had some tough draws, including games against number 1 Minnesota State, 11th ranked Denver, and 6th ranked UND.
And just like every other collegiate team, COVID-19 protocols have caused postponements between both Minnesota Duluth and Omaha. They've had their fair share. The Bulldogs in early January had a series against St. Cloud State postponed, and Omaha's had 2 series in early January as well between Denver and North Dakota, also postponed. But with some schedule rearranging, the Mavericks did get a series in against the Pios, but fell in both games. Looking at the NCHC rankings, Omaha enters tonight 6th in the conference and 16th in the nation with a 14-8 overall record, and they're 4-6 in conference play. The Bulldogs are 4th in the NCHC and 7th in the NCAA as they own a 12-8-2 overall record with a 5-3-2 conference record.
It's pretty crazy to think that a team ranked 6th in any conference can still be ranked top 20 nationwide. That just goes to show how stacked the NCHC is and what kind of hockey these guys have to play every weekend to stay ahead of that pack.
Yeah, Alexa, it is quite impressive. You know, every single night in this league is going to be a battle. And as we approach puck drop, let's talk players to watch, Alexa. Who are you looking at on the Minnesota Duluth side to make an impact tonight?
It has to be 5th-year forward Kobe Roth. He's netted 6 goals, 8 assists this season. Head coach Scott Sandelin says whatever line Roth is on, he makes that line better and just does his job quietly. And Roth did exactly that last game as he scored the equalizing goal in the final 2 minutes last Saturday against Miami. The Mason City native looks to continue his 2-game point streak into tonight and put the Bulldogs back into the win column.
Yeah, the Mavericks are itching to get back into that win column as well. My player to watch for the Crimson and Black is none other than Taylor Ward. He was a National Player of the Month back in October and is now nominated for the Hobie Baker Award, which is given to college's top individual in hockey. Ward has only recorded 2 points in the past 4 games, so he's due for a big night at home. The senior assistant captain has taken on a leadership role, and it's shown. Over the course of the season, he's tallied 14 goals and 11 assists, so it's no surprise that the accolades are starting to roll in for Wardo. And we're just minutes away from seeing Taylor Ward and company face off against the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. We'll be right back with you with keys of the game and a pregame interview with Captain Kevin Conley. It's almost hockey time on alumni weekend as we welcome you back into the Maverick Digital Network studios. The 16th ranked Omaha Mavericks are set to take on number 7 Minnesota Duluth in just a few moments. But before puck drop, our own Avarie Howard caught up with Captain Kevin Conley for his thoughts on the game.
Games last weekend, and now you guys are back at home. What are the emotions going into tonight's game?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I know a bunch of the guys are happy to be back in here and play in front of our great fans, so yeah, it's exciting.
You guys in this upperclassmen group have played against Duluth quite some time. What are the key takeaways to get a win on night 1?
Yeah, we just got to play simple and play our game. I know we struggled last weekend with getting away from our game a little bit, so we just got to be hard and simple.
Well, thank you. Good luck, Kevin.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks for that, Avarie. And Alexa, we've heard it from Kevin, but what are your keys for the Mavericks at home tonight?
Anna, the Mavericks are looking at a defensive battle tonight with UMD ranking 8th in the country in goals against per game, and the Mavs are 3rd in the conference in goals against. The main takeaway from that is going to be important to set the tone of the game. Staying out of the penalty box is my next key for the Mavs to come out on top. They are the most penalized team in both the NCHC and the country. The third thing the Mavericks need to do in order to win is to sustain the pressure. The Mavs can't have a few good shifts and then take a couple off. They will need to keep that momentum once it's gained and then feed off of it.
Yeah, Alexa, you're completely right there. I mean, that's what the Mavericks need to do to get going, because this is honestly a must-win for these Mavericks. They need to get out strong and fast and really rely on their senior leaders to really guide them in this game. So thanks, Alexa, for those keys. That'll do it for our Maverick Digital pregame show. We'll see you after the first period action with highlights, stats, analysis, and some features from familiar Mavericks, including Team USA's Brian Cooper. It's now time to send you down to the ice with Casey Roll and Terry Leahy. Score of 2-0. Unfortunate for the Mavs here. Too many men on the ice after Brock Bremer puts that in the net, but it is called back after review by the officials. So we stand at 2-0 at Baxter Arena. It's Alumni Weekend as we welcome you back in the Maverick Digital Network studios. Ana Bellinghausen, along with Alexa Blase, thanks so much for joining us. And now, just to kick things off for our intermission show, Alexa, let's take a look at the stats in the first frame.
I thought it was going to be a little bit of a slower start scoring-wise because of the level of both defenses, but Dominic James and Quinn Olson able to get us out to that hot start. Omaha unable to take advantage of that power play. UMD 1 for 3 on power plays. Shots on goal are in favor of UMD, and right now, Anna, the chips are just stacked in favor of UMD.
Yeah, Alexa, it's been a story like that all game long so far. 2 goals going in for the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. Let's take a look at the replay to see how it all happened. All right, first we had a quick UMD goal here at 1540 by Dominic Jones. Got the party started for the Bulldogs, but Wardo here with a one-timer trying to bring the Mavs back, but nothing doing for the assistant captain. And then UMD, another shot on goal here, a nice Seville save there. But then Quinn Olson, he strikes back there to make it 2-0. UNO is trying to inch their way back here with another shot on goal. And then the unfortunate one, Brock Bremer. It was supposed to be a shorthanded goal for him, but unfortunately after review, the officials said no goal, too many men on the ice. They had some trouble getting off of their lines there onto the bench. So unfortunate for the Mavs, but the story is with UMD and these Bulldogs.
Absolutely, Anna. And what do you think went well in that first period if you're Coach Gabinet?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fight with the Mavericks. They are responding. They are making sure that they have a say in this game, because UMD is a powerhouse. They've been a powerhouse in the NCHC. We know what they're capable of, and I think Coach Gabinet really nailed that into his players. And these guys are coming back, and they're excited to be at Baxter, but they just got to give the fans something to cheer about. Those Bulldogs really took the cheers and the fans out of the game so far, so we got to get that back in there. If you're Coach Gabinet and the Mavs, you really just have to tell them to keep their heads on a swivel and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, just do their job, and I think the rest will take care of itself for the Mavs. And Alexa, there's still 2 frames of action to be played and more from our intermission show. After the break, you'll see our Alumni Weekend special as I caught up with Brian Cooper, who played for the Mavs from 2012 to 2016, including that Frozen 4 run. We'll be right back here on the Maverick Digital Network. Welcome back into the Maverick Digital Network studios. We didn't forget it's Alumni Weekend at Baxter Arena, so we thought we'd get in on the celebration too. I sat down with Brian Cooper, former captain and defenseman for the Mavs from 2012 to 2016. Cooper is in his 6th full pro season and currently plays in Sweden, and he was also just announced to Team USA's roster for the Beijing Olympics. Cooper says it's a surreal opportunity for him, and I took Cooper down memory lane to talk about his time with the Mavericks and what he hopes for the program moving forward. Yeah, how would you describe the Omaha hockey program in just a few words or phrases?
It's still up and coming, and I'd say it's still, like, people that don't know it are still surprised, but I think the ones that are building it, Coach Kemp, Trev before he left, Mike Gabinet, Bernie, everyone's just doing such a great job piecing things together, and I don't think there's any surprise when we're seeing us in the top 10s, top 15s, whatever it may be right now, and and like I said last year with doing like their tournaments, I think that's going to be a start of kind of a streak that everyone can kind of be proud of and get the ball rolling for consecutive tournament appearances. And I just think it's the culture that they have going on. And now with Baxter, the staff that they have, and just Omaha, it's getting easier and easier to recruit, I think, to UNO, which is nice. And I'm happy to see the other players are recognizing what hockey in Nebraska can do.
For sure. And the players I talk to nowadays, like Taylor Ward, he always mentions the culture that's just been at Omaha for so long. What's it like knowing that you were part of that culture building at Omaha, and what is that culture to you?
It's pretty special. I think that's kind of the best part about being in this alumni group. And there is some great guys that stick around and still be in contact with, and just that like culture. I know Gabinet pounds it into those guys' head, and he's pretty robotic in some of the things that he brings up, but I think that's just how we can instill constantly of what in the younger guys that are coming in and what they want to do. And I think it's an easy message that he can spread across to whether it's boosters, alumni, incoming players, current players, and just how he wants, what his idea of how Omaha hockey should be. And then you've seen it from when he came in as assistant coach under Blase to him running the program now. It's just successful. And I think guys staying true to themselves and paying attention to small details. And I think the culture that we had before under Coach Kemp and Blazer too was just kind of blue collar hard work going into it. And I know that's like my freshman year, we had all the character and hard work in the conference, and maybe we just didn't have the talent to win a lot of games compared to these other schools that can get these top end recruits that are only there for 1 or 2 years and they're going to NHL. And then by the end of the year, it was almost the opposite, where we were so talented, but we lost a little bit of that work ethic, blue collar, that when we got down in games, we couldn't win them. And now I think Gabinet's able to find the fine line of this hard work that Omaha and Nebraska has been able to do, and the talent of bringing in recruits with the new rink and his coaching style and playing style.
Yeah, and one thing Gabinet has been really honing in on is that they want a national championship, and those players in those locker rooms know that it's possible for this program. Do you foresee that in the future within, the next few years?
I think so. It's definitely, they're heading the right direction with what they're doing and their work ethic on and off the ice, and even just like you can tell with their success in the classroom too, and how hard these guys work and how accountable they're being held. It's just tough to say. I think a couple of years, maybe not, but I think in the near future, like a 5 to 8 year window, I think so, because then I think just the freshman crew that's coming in here now is a little more talent too. And I think we're just still in that little window of we're just short of what all these top schools can bring in for the talent pool, and just like game breakers. I know Wardo, Weiss, Conley, and the few of the other seniors that are there are good players and what they can do. And I no doubt that they'll go to the tournament this year, but it's just a different animal, because I think you need to get to the tournament, get the Frozen Four, and then oddly enough, almost lose the Frozen Four, and then come back and do it again the following year. I mean, like Duluth, North Dakota, Denver, like all these schools have had deep runs, and then maybe they'll end up in heartbreak, and then they go and do it again the next year. Because I know that's what happened with us, and I hope they prove me wrong in their maturity levels and how to be able to handle things. But we got almost a little overwhelmed with Providence when they took it to us, because they're an older team, mature, and they just knew how to keep battling through stuff. So, like I said, I hope they can prove me wrong and they do it quicker, because I'll be the first one there to say I was wrong and to congratulate them. And but I think it might be closer like that 5-8 year window. But it still is the NCHC is such a powerful conference. You can easily sneak in just being a 500 team because the games are so good.
Cooper has some pretty high praise for his former coaches and what they're building here at Omaha. You can catch Brian Cooper and Team USA in the Olympics as they begin their quest for gold on February 9th. Some other things that stuck out to me about Cooper: this is one of the youngest USA hockey teams since the 90s. And Cooper is 28, and he's had many seasons in pro hockey, so he's kind of one of the rocks of this hockey team. When I was talking to him, he said it's good and it's bad, because you have those inexperienced players coming out of college, and then that also leads to maybe more mistakes on the ice, but that's why USA Hockey brought in those guys like Brian Cooper to really be that rock, to be that experienced person that can really just wrangle everybody in and get things that they need done. And so I also asked Cooper, of course, the big question is he going to watch Miracle on Ice before to get him really fired up for the game? He said that he might have to, and it's funny because he saw tweets that really drew similarities between Miracle on Ice and this Team USA because they had guys from Massachusetts and Minnesota. They're like, oh, how is that going to work out? But Brian got a quick chuckle out of that, but he says it's time to put in the work. They're going to head to camp in a couple weeks, and Brian is excited. He's sad he couldn't be here on Alumni Night, so shout out to Brian. He gave a little message to the team before the game, but it was great to see Brian and just catch up with him and all of that. But we still got a game on our hands here. Alexa, if you're Coach Gabinet in this locker room, what are you saying to your team?
I think the emphasis is defense. Got to focus on that defense. Clean shifts, no easy goals, staying out of the penalty box, Anna. I think that is one thing that's going to be able to elevate this Maverick team, especially their defense, when you know how good it is. I think that's going to be one thing that will force UMD have a little bit of pressure for them. So I think that is one thing that the Mavericks do need to do this second period.
And I know you spoke to Victor Mancini pregame as well. What did Victor say coming into this matchup?
You know, he was excited. I mean, they haven't played each other since the bubble back in 2020, so they were really excited for this matchup. A lot of the guys, like Victor, freshman, haven't seen UMD play, so they were really pumped for the ability to even get to play with both teams having such great defenses. I said this earlier, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game, but we got out to that hot start. Overall, Victor was super pumped to be able to show their defense that they have, so I think now is the perfect time. Everyone's talking about it, this perfect defense that UNO has, let's see it. So that's one thing that he did emphasize for me.
Yeah, Alexa, and Victor's been put into a role where he had to really step in for Johnny Tyconic there, so he's gotten quite a few minutes just as a freshman, so that's great to see for Victor, but 2 more frames left. Last quick thoughts, Alexa, what do you think the Mavs need to do right out of the gate?
I think right out of the gates, no more penalties. I think that's like the top thing. Playing clean shifts. Like I said earlier, I think that is the main focus right out of the gates. Putting the pressure on UMD. Although it's 2-0, I think pressure has to be on UMD for to be able to do what they can do.
Thanks, Alexa. We'll send you guys back down to Casey and Terry for the second period, and make sure you stick around because we got another feature coming up with Omaha alum Mason Morelli. Guys, take it away.